Before we get into wrap-up insurance programs, let's take a look at the traditional approach used to insure construction projects. At the top of the diagram is your developer owner. They are carrying their own insurance. Below them is the general contractor or construction manager with their own coverage. Below the GC are the prime trade contractors, and below them their subcontractors, all carrying their own insurance coverage. As you can imagine, all of these different coverages and coverage providers create the potential to cause major issues. Some contractors will have inadequate limits, gaps in coverage, or there may be some contractors with no coverage at all. Also, because there are so many insurance companies covering one project, every claim has potential of cross-litigation, which we will explain later in the presentation.
We are here to talk about wrap-up insurance programs, so let's get into that. Here is a brief technical description of a wrap-up insurance program. It is a risk management and financial product that provides greater control over construction exposures for a large-scale construction project or projects, usually over $100 million in construction value. The sponsor, which can include the owner, developer, or general contractor, of the program purchases an insurance program, also known as a wrap-up. These programs include insurance coverage, loss control, and claims management services on behalf of themselves, the construction manager, general contractor, and all the subcontractors. In turn, the subcontractors are required to remove the cost of insurance from their contracts or bids. This is where project cost savings can be realized. The overall result is a more efficient and cost-effective risk management program covering the project. To contrast the diagram we saw 2 slides earlier of the traditional approach to insurance, we have a similar diagram for a project covered under a wrap-up insurance program. As you can see, instead of hundreds of different coverages, everyone is under one insurance policy. Just by looking at this, you can tell that things under a wrap-up are much simpler than the traditional approach to insurance. There is no longer a guessing game about which coverages each contractor has. A traditional wrap-up will provide workers' comp, general liability, and excess liability coverage. However, GL-only wrap-ups are also an option and are gaining in popularity. These provide only general liability and excess liability coverage. Dirty wraps can also be purchased, which also provide pollution liability coverage. Wrap-ups can also include other coverages like builder's risk and professional liability. In fact, there is even a wrap-up type product for bonding called SubGuard. Just about any coverage associated with large construction projects can be wrapped up. Here is a typical structure for a wrap-up insurance program. Wrap-ups will almost always utilize large deductibles. It is $250,000 in our example. Often the wrap-up will have different deductibles for workers' compensation and general liability coverage. Above the deductibles are the primary insurer, and above them are the excess carriers. The total excess coverage limits can vary greatly depending on the project or projects, if it is a rolling program. Not every party involved in the project will actually enroll into the wrap-up. The whole point of the wrap-up is to cover activities on the project site, so supply-only or delivery-only contractors will often be excluded. Some carriers may decide to exclude certain scopes of work, such as asbestos removal, EFIS, and lead abatement. Also, some trades will be excluded because of union contracts, such as Local 3 electrical workers in New York.
Typically, a wrap-up is purchased by either the project owner or a construction manager or general contractor. If purchased by the owner, it is referred to as an OSIP or Owner-Controlled Insurance Program. In our example, we have Donald Trump. If he was developing a project, he would purchase an OSIP. A maintenance wrap can be purchased by facility owners to cover continuous ongoing construction. If the wrap-up was purchased by the GC or construction manager, it would be referred to as a CSIP or Contractor-Controlled Insurance Program. These wrap-ups can be purchased to provide coverage to a single project site or multiple project site, called a rolling CSIP.
Here is a quick recap of the benefits from a wrap-up insurance program versus a traditional approach to insurance. As you can see, wrap-up programs can provide immense advantages over traditional approaches.
Thanks for taking the time to view our presentation. If you have any questions, check out our website or give us a call or email.